everybody, meteorologist Sarah Gannon here. It's been quite a while since we've had some good snowfall here in southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa too. So just wanted to hop here on a Facebook Live and take a look at just kind of how those conditions are here in Northwest Rochester. That's where we are situated, not too far from the station. We are currently at the corner of West Circle Drive and Alpha Parkway. So if you happen to know where the West Circle Hy-Vee is, that's where we are kind of camped out at this point in time. But just finished up with a live shot a few minutes ago. So we're just kind of in the car warming up here for a couple of minutes, but I'll take you guys outside. That wind is nasty. It is cold. The snow blowing at you. It's not great. So, and I know our David Burgett has been driving out and about with our other photographer, Ethan. I don't remember Ethan's last name. Ethan Davis, our other photographer. So they've been kind of tag teaming road conditions around southeast Minnesota here. So kind of also taking a look at some of those other secondary roads here in the area. We are, as I mentioned, we're just kind of off of West Circle Drive. Traffic certainly has been slow tonight. Do please use some extra caution on those roads tonight. Make sure your headlights are on, kind of clean off your car so you have good visibility out all of your windows, and just kind of take it easy if you're headed home from work, or maybe you've got some plans that you can't quite cancel or adjust at all. Just make sure that you're safe. So we'll head outside here in just a second, and with the wind, it'll certainly be tricky to kind of get an accurate measurement of that snow. And I have a good example out here that I can kind of show you as well. I've got my trusty ruler, so we can do some snow measurements here as well. So I am just going to I'll just kind of set up the phone, maybe there. Okay, got to get my mittens on. I brought the good ones out. Definitely have to have the good mittens when you're doing live snow coverage, and I've got my vest on so you can see me with reduced visibility out there too. So hopefully my mittens don't muffle the microphone. If I start having audio issues, somebody let me know in the comments. But if you guys happen to have any snow amounts, kind of where you're at, or maybe where you're watching from, let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hopping on and joining. Micah, and I might have you hold the phone too when I do kind of some of these demonstrations too. Okay, let's see here. Let's get out to kind of where we're going. But yeah, slow going traffic for sure. Reduced visibility. Not a great night to be out on the road, but hey, we're getting some snow. Gotta be positive about it. Get some snow here. We desperately need it. Can use some snow for sure. All right, and I'm going to take off my mitten here so I can turn the camera around, and he is going to hold on to that for me so I can kind of give you a demonstration. Just right around 5 I measured, and in some of those shallower spots, we had about 1/2 inch, and then those higher spots, we had 1.5 inches. So averaging that out, I'd say we have about 1 inch on the ground. But again, I got my ruler here so we can check out some of these measurements. But obviously here, there's nothing. There's no snow there. But again, you can kind of see how in some of these shallower spots, whoops, that didn't work. In some of these shallower spots, we have some of those of the pathway here where there's absolutely nothing, there's nothing to measure. But yeah, we've had some good, I would say, probably about an hour or so ago, we did have some pretty good snowfall rates, some really, really reduced visibility in the area. And you can even see looking further down. Thank you. It's hard to touch this with the mittens. It's so bulky. But yeah, so kind of explaining a little bit about the snowfall. That's something that we've been tracking in the weather department here the last couple of days, is just how that dry air is going to impact snowfall for us here in southeast Minnesota and northeast Iowa. So again, it's snowing. It is still snowing, but very, very fine snow. So for us to get 1 inch of snow, it's going to take a little while for us to get there. But if we get more moisture in there, then we'll get those big, flat, fat, kind of fluffy flakes, and that adds up pretty quickly. So, what else should we talk about? Does anyone have any questions? I hope everybody's having a great Friday. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you and your special someone are able to celebrate, or, if you're staying in tonight, maybe you have plans for the weekend, hoping for some smooth sailing when it comes to travel for that. But yeah, we've been definitely seeing some slow travel here on West Circle Drive. Very much snow covered roads. You can make out those tire tracks, but that's kind of about it. So definitely that snow accumulating there in those intersections. So it makes it a little bit tougher to kind of plug through there. But definitely some reduced visibility. And this is just in town. So if you are outside of town, if you're in the country, if you're on the open highways, you'll definitely notice more of that blowing and drifting. I know our David Burgett is out and about throughout southeast Minnesota, kind of keeping an eye on road conditions there for us. So he will definitely be able to point that out. He'll be live again for our 6 o'clock broadcast, as will I. Kind of camping out here, keeping an eye on one of our main thoroughfares here in the Rochester area, West Circle Drive. And again, we're in Northwest Rochester. If you're just hopping on, just joining us. Al says, hi from Florida. Hi from Florida. Much warmer weather there than it is here in Minnesota and Iowa. I hope you're staying warm down there, enjoying the warmth. That wind though has been quite cold. Not fun to have this little snow pellets kind of pelted at you. So Suzanne says hi. Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, not very fun. But here, I'll take my mitten off again. Get this problem for us in the area, especially, you know, it's pretty windy here in town, but just imagine however it is in town, it's worse when you get outside of city limits. So folks out in the countryside and out in more of those rural locations, definitely exercise some extra caution. That blowing and drifting snow will be a concern here tonight on top of snow covered roads already. So just use some caution. It'll definitely be tricky to kind of get some of the snowfall measurements with the blowing snow that we're expecting here this evening into the overnight hours and into the early part of the weekend. So we'll definitely do our best to get some snowfall amounts out to you guys as the snow system continues for tonight into early tomorrow. And we'll have more updates, more forecast details in our 6 o'clock broadcast. So hope everyone has a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Stay warm, stay safe.
Hello, hello, everybody. Meteorologist Sarah Gannon here with another update on our winter weather. It's cold, it's windy, it's snowy. It's not a good combination to be out and about. But we continue to keep an eye on some road conditions here locally in Northwest Rochester. And, of course, continue to keep an eye on that blowing and drifting snow. It'll be really tricky to get some accurate measurements for snowfall. But if you're pro at it and are able to kind of get a good average of it, that'll definitely work in our favor to get some measurements there. But certainly not a good night to be out on those roads. So hopefully you all are safe at home, able to stay warm, bundle up, and have a nice Friday evening. Get ready for the weekend. I'm in the car right now. We're just warming up here for a minute or two after our live shots. If you tuned in and you saw us on the 6 o'clock broadcast, we were out. It was cold. It was not fun having to kind of face the wind. Pretty chilly there. But so we just kind of brought the gear back to the car, kind of warming up here for a minute, and then I will take you guys outside. So if you haven't had to go out into the snow and the cold today, I'll take you out there and you can stay nice and warm at home as I bring you guys outside. So we continue to see those snow-covered roads here in the area. We're still seeing slow-going traffic, reduced visibility. Obviously, now that it's dark out, we'll still continue on with some tougher conditions, especially if you are outside of city limits traveling. I know that in town, we've got the street lights, and it's not usually too bad, but it's more so when you get outside of city limits that we start to see more of those trouble spots as well. So I'll wait for a few more folks to kind of hop on and join, but feel free to drop in a question, comment, concern, anything like that. Feel free to say hi, where you're watching from. Always fun to see just kind of how far we get people watching from. We had somebody watching from Florida earlier. A little jealous. Nice and warm down there. Kind of cold here in Minnesota. And, of course, getting that Arctic blast for next week. So I've got my handy-dandy ruler here. So we will, I'll show you guys some measurements. Just because, again, the strong wind that we're looking at this evening into tonight and tomorrow, not only will that create some trouble on the roads, especially in those open, low-lying areas, we'll look to see quite a bit more potential and concern for blowing and drifting snow. But then we can also kind of measure, too, because that blowing makes it tricky to get an accurate measurement. You know, when we have just kind of that light breeze, there really isn't much of a concern. Ooh!
I would say we have at least an inch. I think on the weather patio, Nick measured maybe we were closer to about 2 inches. I'm not 100% sure, but this is what makes it so tricky to measure and get accurate snowfall amounts or snow totals when we have the blowing and drifting snow, because it doesn't just land, it flies everywhere. So we get our bare spots and then we get our high drifted spots. So not only does it make it tricky to drive in as you kind of go over all those bumps and those drifts with that snow on the road, but it makes it hard to measure too. So if you are looking to send us a snow total, we will definitely take your snow total, whatever we can get. But just make sure you try and find something that has in maybe a little bit more of a protected area that doesn't see as much wind, or if you do have some drifting, try and find something that maybe is a little bit more level. It'll be tricky to find, but it's possible to find kind of a level area that hasn't been impacted too much by that wind. So if we have a high total of about 3, low total of about nothing, usually we just try and go kind of meet in the middle, try and get the average. Or if you measure around in several spots around your yard or your deck or patio or whatever, and you can kind of get a ballpark of, say, oh, well, this spot is 2, this spot is 4, but I'm getting a lot of like 2.5s. I would say good chance maybe 2.5 would be that total. So those are just hypothetical numbers. I haven't been in the office here this evening to see kind of what's coming in from the National Weather Service or from our viewers at home now that we're getting home here for the evening. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But I just kind of wanted to show you that how blowing and drifting snow not only causes issues on the road, but, you know, just trying to get, you know, your measurements. It can be a little tricky and a little difficult to do that as well. So I'm not really sure. Micah, are you seeing a spot that maybe looks more, let's see here. Maybe over here. So, well, if I'm getting averages of 3 inches and 1 inch, prime example here, I'd say meet in the middle. We have 2 inches. That's what I would say. So just do your best. We appreciate any totals that we can get here from you guys. And we'll try and get some of those snow totals on air, online. Friendly reminder though, if you don't see your town on our list, we didn't get a snow total from there. So if you want your town up there, you got to send us a snow total. Don't just make one up. Try your best to get something level for us. We love getting those photos that have the ruler in there. So that way then all you have to do is just snap a picture, say, you know, your location, just be like Plainview or Southwest Rochester or Kenyon. Shout out to my Kenyon folks. Or, you know, St. Charles, wherever it is that you are. The best way to get us a snow total, take a picture with your ruler because you got to measure it anyways. Snap us a picture of that. Do your best, of course. Let us know what town you're in. And, you know, if it's still snowing, if it's done snowing, let us know. So it's kind of a good way to get us a snow total. You can send it to us on Facebook. We have our photo community group on Facebook. If you're not a part of that already, search it and send a request to join between Nick, myself, David, Derek, Ted. One of us will be able to let you in. And that's another great way to not only check out weather photos, but share some of those snow totals as well. It works great in the summertime when we get rain too. You can snap pictures of those rain gauges and share those totals too. So a big thing, aside from measuring, really take it easy on those roads here tonight. Not only if you're in town, but especially if you're out in the countryside. Take it easy, especially those rural open areas where we're going to be seeing that blowing and drifting snow tonight. Really, really take it easy on those roads. Slow going. Travel will continue to be slow here through tonight and into tomorrow. Excited to have a little snow on the ground. It's a bad time. Not excited though for the cold. That's coming next week. But this wind, man, ooh, this is cold. My face is starting to get a little cold. So, not just cold, a little frozen. So, Micah, have you been seeing any questions or anything like that coming through at all on the live? No? Okay. All right. Well, I think if that's it, I haven't seen any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. We'll continue to keep an eye on those comments. If you do have something and you're joining us later after we're done with this live, then feel free to jump on and, you know, type a little something and we'll try and keep an eye on it and get back to you. So stay warm, stay safe. Happy Valentine's, everybody. And I hope you all have a great weekend and get ready because it's going to get cold next week. So we'll have more of those forecast details coming up at 10 o'clock here tonight, and then throughout the weekend, and of course, next week. So have a good night, everybody. Bye.